What's going on, guys? JSGC here, and we are here for another Manchester City match analysis. This time we're going to be covering Manchester City going through to the last 16 of the Champions League, but still not got first place sealed just yet. So we're going to be covering this 2-2 draw away in France against Lyon. First up, the talking point of this game before the game had started was expecting Phil Foden to start. I didn't cover it in my preview because I didn't have team news, but from team news from there, Gundogan was out injured. We didn't have any central midfielders, no Bernardo Silva and no Kevin De Bruyne either. So I was wondering what Manchester City going to go for, and Pep built up saying Phil Foden's ready for the big games and he's ready for starting games. So I was expecting Phil Foden to start, and he didn't, and I wasn't too happy about that, to say the least. But he went with Riyad Mahrez going out kind of like a right wing back position, and Zinchenko going in the left wing back position, and Kyle Walker moving to the centre, and Raheem Sterling operating in like the top end of the attack, with David Silva playing kind of just behind him, and with Raheem Sterling pushing further forward and Leroy Sané occupying this space up here. It was kind of weird, and it looked disjointed. It sounded disjointed, and it was just that, disjointed. But in terms of the team, I possibly would have gone with Delph rather than Zinchenko, considering Delph was fit enough to be on the bench. I would have gone with Delph rather than Zinchenko. I didn't think Zinchenko had an awful game. I just didn't think he had a great game in this game. He looked a lot better second half, in my opinion. And then, in terms of Phil Foden, I weren't too happy with that situation. I don't really want to dwell on with that because the decision's already been made. I just felt like Phil Foden must have been, I felt real sorry for him. He must have felt real sad because he must have been expecting a start and it's not happened, and instead he's ended up going with a disjointed formation rather than risk playing him, which I don't think sends out the right message. But it's been done and dusted. We'll move on from there. For Lyon, Fekir passed a late fitness test and he started, and so it set up a very nice game indeed. Now, first into this game, early chances for both sides, a couple of good chances for Lyon and a good chance for City. Cornet and Depay both missed very good chances. Depay missed an absolute sitter, getting his feet muddled up, and it was quite a weird one. And Riyad Mahrez then ended up on the counter-attack from that missed Depay chance, ended up having a tame low effort straight at the goalkeeper, which, you know, we could well have had both teams to score right there. Then, who went through the half, Mendy, not Benjamin Mendy, but there Mendy that plays on the left, did a nice ball across to Cornet, who hit a low drilled shot right into the ground. I think it was on the half volley, and it went onto the crossbar, and it was a very unlucky shot. I was surprised to hear that he's only scored twice all season, that Cornet, because he looked a right unit, and one of them was against Manchester City too. But ended up having also a great block just from Aymeric Laporte, as Cornet ended up missing another good chance as well. So yeah, Cornet ended up, I think it was twisted in from a ball from Mendy again, and he ended up turning, and he kind of had like an open net to tap into, and instead of shooting first time takes a touch, and Laporte was there to get back and block. Aymeric Laporte absolutely fantastic in that first half. But how Lyon didn't go in scoring any goals and we went in level at 0-0 was beyond me. We did have a chance right before the half-time whistle. Riyad Mahrez again had a low shot, well saved by their goalkeeper. A better effort this one, than, in my opinion, than the other good chance that he had in the first half. Was making things happen. They were making things happen, and was only lacking goals. So there was plenty of chances at half-time. How they didn't lead, that was completely beyond me. The positive was I had that we weren't losing. I was hoping that Lyon, like we saw at the Etihad back in September, they'd tire in the second half, will be able to make chances count. Obviously, not get a rollicking off Pep at half-time, but Pep would be able to identify areas of weakness, be able to improve upon that, and be able to play our game against the Lyon side that I was hoping, as the game went on, would start to tire, and then would be able to capitalise upon that and create some opportunities, much like we saw against Hoffenheim in Germany, be able to break them down. It just looked a little bit disjointed with this 3 at the back, 4 at the back at times, and 5 at the back at times. I didn't think this was the time and place to be changing the formation, and rather than risk playing Foden, he ended up changing things, which I think is quite criminal in a Champions League game. We've seen it changed against Anfield, if you remember. We changed the formation then, and that didn't work out, and it very nearly didn't work out in this game too, if it weren't for Manchester City's gigantic personality and effort to be able to dig deep and find things when needed, which, to our credit, we did. In 55 minutes, they ended up getting that goal, Lyon did. A quick free kick. For some reason, we've gone poor on defending quick free kicks, so they just play it out dead quickly. Memphis Depay ends up finding Cornet over on the opposite side of the box. This time, takes a control onto his left foot, has a lovely shot, deflects just off Zinchenko, beyond the goalkeeper. I felt Zinchenko maybe could have closed it down a little bit quicker, but a very good finish, I thought. And I was disappointed, because it meant, at the time, they weren't behind was no longer sitting on top of the group. We'd ended up having this disappointing loss at home to Lyon. We ended up having some great away results. We ended up getting some good results against Hoffenheim and Shakhtar, and battering Shakhtar at home. All this hard work that we'd spent a couple of months undoing from that damage in Manchester, to end up conceding and then end up going into second place and Lyon up to first, and we're facing the prospect of it being out of our hands of getting into first. And looking at some of the groups with the teams that are finishing first, we really do want to be finishing first. So I was delighted 7 minutes later that Raheem Sterling managed to get a set piece right. The first set piece we got right all night, a free kick, and it managed to filter its way through to Laporte, and he ended up nodding in for an equaliser. And you know, it was good. Just before that, Aguero ended up missing a header. I mention this because I'm just building up to the moment that we ended up scoring again. But Aguero missed a header where he headed it high, straight at a good height for the goalkeeper for him to save. And I was like, just head it down, and the goalkeeper would have found it very difficult to have saved it. But a minute later, Leroy Sané had a chance as the goalkeeper ended up going through his arms, and he just reacted in time to stop it going across the line. And then from there, Lyon ended up going ahead again, 81 minutes in. A simple pass from Ndombele ends up finding Cornet after, I think it was a nice ball over. A really poor goal to concede this one. Ederson rushes out and the ball's just slotted under him. A good finish, take nothing away from it, but again, it's a little bit poor defending in my opinion, allowing Lyon, again, with a quick free kick and quick play, 2 free passes, all of a sudden the through our defence. Disappointing, went 2-1 behind. The game was facing that prospect there. One thing I can accuse Lyon of is once they got ahead and they made things happen, they kind of sat off at us, particularly for the 7 minutes or so that we ended up building up to that equaliser. They sat off us for some reason, allowing us to play our game, and we ended up creating 3 chances in about 8 minutes, 3 very good chances I'll add, and City ended up putting one of them away. You can't do that against us. One thing you can't do is allow us space and time, because if you do, we'll end up making things happen. We've got enough quality there to make things happen. And so Lyon, I felt like once we got ahead, should have just continued doing what they were doing, because I reckon they'd have probably won this game if they had. But they didn't. Next in, we were terrible on set pieces yesterday. Then a corner comes in, Riyad Mahrez with a beautiful ball in. Sergio Aguero in acres of space, flicks it on, finds the net. 2 goals in 2 minutes, made sure that it went from 1-1 to 2-2. Absolutely brilliant. Full-time whistle went at the end of the game. 4 goals in the second half. Told you it'd be both teams to score. Brilliant game of football. I don't know. Great show of character, I thought, from Man City in this game. I thought it really showed how far we'd come in the Champions League. These are games 3, 4, 5 seasons ago we'd have simply took no points and would be exiting the Champions League. But we've shown how far we've come, showing a fighting spirit. We haven't got the win to see us in first place, but going behind twice at a very hostile, very difficult away ground, making things happen. You know, a very decent game and a very decent point for us in the group stage that's seen us go through. However, for Lyon, it was nearly enough to see them go through. It wasn't, because Shakhtar ended up getting a winner, finished 3-2 in Hoffenheim to Shakhtar. So there's a huge game in the Ukraine now coming up, where Shakhtar are going to face Lyon, where Lyon just need a point. They just need to not lose that game, and Shakhtar need to win that game. And if they do, even though Lyon are unbeaten in the last 5 Champions League games, they've only won once, that was against us in Manchester. They've drawn the other 4, and it means if they lose this game, even though they've been absolutely immense, particularly against us in these 2 games that we've faced Lyon, they could go out, which is a big surprise, because Lyon gave us a very, very good game, and I really enjoyed that game of football. There's positives for both sides, there's criticisms for both sides. We're going to have a look at some of the stats first, just so we can make some presumptions on that. Lyon ended up having 41% possession to City's 59% possession, which is decent. Similar amount of shots, 12 for them, 13 for us, 4 on target for them, 6 for us. Similar stats there in the attack. It's not many teams that can match us in attack, but Lyon with them stats have. In terms of passes, City ended up having just over 200 more passes than what Lyon did. That's why the possession's so high with Man City. City 91.5% pass completion rate, decent to their 85% pass completion rate. I expect no different. That's what we're always aiming for, 90+% pass completion rate. Decent. Key passes, 9 for Lyon, 12 for City. Clear-cut chances, 3 for Lyon, just 1 for Manchester City. And City ended up putting more crosses in, but didn't connect with many. Lyon put 3 crosses in and connected with 2 of them. And City ended up putting 14 crosses in and connected with 2 of them, like Lyon did. So, putting balls into the box weren't that great our strong point in this game. But we ended up having more corners than Lyon. We ended up having just under more recoveries, and then they ended up having 49 to our 47. So very similar attacking stats. In terms of defensive stats, Lyon ended up making more tackles, we had more interceptions, they had more blocks, they had more clearances, they had more headed clearances, Lyon, so they're dominating the defensive stats, they've matched us in attacking stats. That's why it's finished a draw here. We were never able to completely dominate this game. Lyon always made things happen, and Lyon played really well, and I know for facts that whoever they go up against in the last 16, if Lyon do go through, you're in for a tough test, because they are a very, very good side. The second in Liga 1, second to PSG. How that's only 15 points, I'm not too sure. I know if Lyon can have some consistency and play like that from now to the end of the season, they're going to surprise a lot of teams. But there we go. So for City, I felt like we really missed Kevin De Bruyne in this game. We really missed Bernardo Silva and Gundogan. So we've had to have a makeshift midfield, and we've had to change the formation. So that's the damage done for us. We're missing a lot of key players. However, we've not had a lot of these players for the majority of the season, to be fair. I mean, only Bernardo Silva we've had for the majority. Gundogan's always picking up injuries here and there, and Kevin De Bruyne, we've only seen a few minutes out of Kevin De Bruyne, really. So, yeah. Benjamin Mendy's injured again. Felt like we missed him. We didn't go with Delph, went with Zinchenko. Mendy might have been perfect for this game. The quick pace, good balls in. Used to playing in France too. Could have been absolutely perfect for this game. You could see how good Laporte was in this game. There's some much good positives here. There's Laporte had a good game. John Stones had a very good game, I thought. Kyle Walker didn't have his best. Zinchenko didn't have his best. David Silva, okay. Sergio Aguero, up to him getting the goal, wasn't brilliant, but ended up getting his goal and looked a lot more lively. So yeah, so swings and roundabouts, I'd say. Aymeric Laporte was absolutely fantastic in this game, my man of the match, but I feel like it's unjust for me just to say that he gets man of the match without mentioning Lyon, and I had to mention a special shout out to Tanguy and Ndombele. He was perfect in this game. He is an absolute unit in the middle of the pitch, and I've never done this before. I'm going to do it now, giving Laporte man of the match, and for me, Ndombele deserves just as much as Laporte to have man of the match, because he made a difference just like Laporte did. But I thought that Lyon looked very good in the middle. They had one of the other players, I think, is it Ayor, however you say his name, the 20-year-old that was sitting just beside Ndombele. He was immense too. Cornet only scored twice all season. One of them was against Man City. He's now scored 4, and 3 of them are against Manchester City. It's a bit strange, but there we go. In terms of interest in this is an interesting one. In head-to-heads, Lyon's got a better head-to-head than Manchester City. So if we lose and Lyon win, Lyon will finish first in the group if we end up losing to Hoffenheim at home. So we need just a point to finish first, because Lyon's got a better head-to-head. On aggregate over 2 legs, it'd be 4-3 to Lyon, and if it was over a knockout stage, we'd be going out. That's how well Lyon have done in this game. So we've got lots of lessons to learn. I imagine that other Premier League clubs might now start thinking we'll play like Lyon. A lot of Premier League clubs haven't got the midfield that Lyon's got. They haven't got players like Fekir. They haven't got players like Ndombele and Ayor, however you say his name. They've not got them players there to be able to do that. But yeah, it seems the way forward is to go with a strong 2-man midfield to try and deal with Man City's attack with pace, and then try and stay at Manchester City rather than sitting deep, because when you sit deep you always run the risk that you may well concede and invite pressure on yourself. But a very interesting game. I thoroughly enjoyed that game. It was very challenging for us. We're not used to many challenges from the Premier League, because you know, 9 times out of 10 we normally win our games in the Premier League, I'd say, over the last season and a half. So to be able to give a brilliant game like this, I thought, you know, fairly decent. I will give a shout out as well to Maicon. I think his name is the Brazilian centre-back at Lyon. I thought he was very good too. I'd be surprised if Lyon end up keeping hold of some of these players, because some of them are only young as well. They are very good players, but I'm glad that we've got through that. We're through to the last 16 and we've got a chance now. We just need a point at home, hoping to win, to be able to seal top spot alongside other big clubs that are sitting on top of their groups, like Real Madrid, like Barcelona, like Bayern Munich, like Atletico Madrid could well be tonight too, Napoli too, Juventus as well. Want to be avoiding these teams, so yeah, we need to be finishing top of the group. 2 weeks time we have got Hoffenheim at home. So that's the end of the video. Hope you enjoyed the video. Leave a big thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe, put your push notifications on, press the bell if you wish. I'm aiming for 2,000 subs. Just need over 200 more before the year's out, so it'd be ace to be able to hit that ASAP. If you're enjoying the content, make sure you do subscribe. Don't forget, we'll have the match preview up for the Bournemouth game on for Saturday. That'll be up on Friday, so stay tuned for that. So I'll see you all then. Don't forget to check out social media links in the description below. Also, my email if you want any business inquiries or any sponsorships for any videos. And don't forget to also check out my second channel and my brother's partner channel, Mixed Do Mixology Drinks. I'll leave the links up to them at the end of the video. And that's been the video. Don't forget to share the video, help my channel grow, and I'll see you all again on Friday for that preview. So it's been JSGC. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Peace. Ciao for now.